Welcome to M Go Bucks. We are here right after the Utah versus USC game. Utah has apparently Matt has become a Utah fan.
Huge
Um,
Utah fan.
oh wow, what a game!
You
Like
know, after we win the national title this year, I'm buying a Rising jersey. That's incredible.
Ohio State slithers into the playoffs this year. They nothing by what they've done, but early Christmas present for the Buckeyes. Look how happy you are. I haven't seen you this happy since
I know.
before the Michigan
And
loss.
again, this is why I wasn't that upset after we lost because I knew all these dominoes were about to fall. And you
Yeah,
couldn't
you knew they were about to fall.
victory for even a week, Nate. How about that?
I haven't. That's so unfair.
It is.
We
It
haven't
is.
been able to enjoy this.
I agree. I think I feel a little dirty because we lost so badly and we didn't deserve this at all, but we're going to get it anyway.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think this is absolutely amazing. If you're just now joining us, just jumped off of that amazing Utah win over USC, with an asterisk. Poor Caleb Williams was all, you know, bent out of shape.
What do you think?
He was injured, but
If you listen to Diego the whole time, we were saying he is totally faking that. I mean, he ran for 40 yards on the gimpy leg. And did you ever see him look like he was gimpy when he was playing? He was only limping around after the play, trying to, excuse it so it doesn't look as bad, so he can still try to win a Heisman.
yeah, this is just crazy. Like I can't believe this is happening. I didn't think it would. I mean, just the other day, we were just saying, "Oh, there's no way this is going to happen." I mean, you were probably preparing for a very dismal Christmas. I mean, it just
You know what's going to happen with your luck? TCU is going to get blown out tomorrow, and you're going to get Bama instead of TCU.
yeah, this is the evil committee. This is the evil committee's doing. Something happened. They put something in Caleb Williams' juice.
The evil committee. Their dirty tricks.
This is just disgusting. Just disgusting. So this puts Ohio State in at number 4, right?
Yeah.
So
we're number 4. It seems like
we're assuming if nothing else changes, Buckeyes.
You know what though? What happens if
Buckeyes play Georgia?
Gets blown out and they drop out completely? We might move up to so in a normal situation, I would say we would get moved up to 3, and then Alabama would sneak into 4. But they're not. You know what they would maybe do? They would put Michigan at 1, and then leave us at 4. No, how would they do that?
Alabama's not getting in, even with a Utah loss. They're not getting in.
They're going to try to maneuver the rankings to make it so the SEC teams and the Big Ten teams don't play each other.
You're right. The sneaky committee would love to get Alabama in. They would. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past them, but I still can't see them putting Alabama in. Just can't see it.
I can. They always put them
in. They did line them up to actually do that, but my gosh, let's show a few comments here because I'm sure a lot of people are wanting to sound off like I excuse me, like I am. So yeah, give your comments. Let's see what everyone has to say here. What does everyone think about Ohio State crashing the playoff games? What they're playoff crashers. That's what they are.
Yeah, Nate, I heard a report earlier this week that the Buckeyes have been practicing against Georgia all week, planning for this. They were
wouldn't
ready.
They?
Yeah,
why wouldn't they?
Assuming that someone would slip up and they would be getting Georgia in the first round. So
they absolutely should be. They absolutely should be.
Again, this is so unfair because you guys, how many injuries did USC get in this game? They lost one of their huge offensive linemen. There was a 42-game starter. Caleb Williams got hurt. And, I'm sure some other guys got dinged up too. And, then you guys have to not only win tomorrow. I mean, you don't have to win, but, you're going to try to win tomorrow. And the main thing is you guys don't want to get any injuries. And Ohio State doesn't have to worry about that. We just have to sit there and look pretty and, get healthy again. So we can, if we get JSN back for the playoffs, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if he'll play? Maybe he'll look at that as kind of like a I don't know. Maybe like I still don't see him playing. He's got. I don't know. We'll have to
If
see.
he's healthy, why wouldn't you? It can only so right now he's going to go 15 in the draft, right in the middle of the draft. All he has to do is come back, show he's healthy, if he is healthy, and play in one game. Even if we don't win the game, play in one game and do well, and then he's back up to top 5. That's a significant difference in the amount of money you're making from 15 to 5.
Andrew's saying, "How do you like your chances at beating Georgia?" Which you probably are too happy to even think about that right now.
No,
You're happy to be there.
I am definitely worried about Georgia because their defensive line is always amazing, and they have a tackle who I don't think is blockable, one of their defensive tackles. So I'm really worried about that. I'm not as worried defensively, but offensively blocking, because the middle of our line is our weakness. And I mean, granted, some of our offensive linemen have been injured, so hopefully we can get Matt Jones back. And Luke Whippler, I think, was a little injured too. So if we can get everyone healthy for the game, I feel a little bit better. But they have such elite defensive tackles that's going to be really tough. Obviously our tackles are great. I'm not worried about the defensive ends, but pressure up the middle, and our best running game is in the middle. So if we can't do that, then that's going to be really tough. They have great press man coverage on defense, so it's definitely going to be a tough matchup. But if I think we probably need JSN to be able to pull that off. But if he can give it a go, and let's say even if he's 90%, I think we have a pretty good chance, because then you can't double and triple Marvin Harrison the whole game.
Well, you know what? You look at Georgia, and it's almost like they are a better version of Michigan, and you'll have to play them in a neutral site.
Except for the running game.
You're just happy that you're going to be there, though, right? Your season's not over. All of a sudden, your season, you got your season.
Yeah, it's a combination of that plus getting everyone healthy again. I mean,
getting healthy.
We don't have to worry about playing in this game and getting people hurt.
The running back's still out, though. I think there's still a running back issue happening, though, at Ohio State.
Well, Trey Henderson will probably. I mean, I guess there's a chance he can get back. I don't know how serious his injury.
He's got ligaments, right?
Well, potentially ligament. I'm not sure if it's something that can heal in time. I would say most likely Trey Henderson's probably not going to be able to play, but Mayan Williams is our better running back anyway, and our backups did really well. So, but if we can get Mayan Williams, and he didn't have any kind of serious injury, he was still able to play. Just he wasn't at 100%. In a month, he will be at 100%. So we'll have Mayan plus some good backups, and then CJ was a little bit dinged, and he'll be healthy. If we can get our right guard back, that would be huge. And then, of course, JSN.
Yeah. So right now, what we're looking at is Georgia, Michigan, TCU if they win, and I'm not so sure about that anymore, because I thought USC was the sure win in this one, and it just wasn't. And Caleb Williams got hurt, and the Buckeyes at number 4. Sneaking in at number 4.
Let's talk about the Heisman now. What the hell is going to happen with the Heisman?
That is going to be I know, the Heisman. Oh my gosh.
The one thing I was telling Diego, though, unfortunately, most voters vote really early.
They already voted.
For some reason, so many people
early
voted
voting
before the season ends. They vote, and then some people will at least wait until after the regular season ends to vote. And it seems like way too many people vote early. So it depends. If the people voted before the Michigan game, then those are CJ Stroud voters. People that voted after the Michigan game are Caleb Williams voters, and people that waited till now, maybe Max Duggan,
maybe.
So it's going to be.
We'll have to see.
It's going to be a crazy finish because of depending on when people turn their votes in.
It seems like it's just going to be a down year for the Heisman this year, right? I mean, it's not going to be anyone
it should
a
be
superstar.
Yeah,
it was going to be Caleb.
Well,
it was going to be Caleb, and he was going to have this awesome game like it started to be against Utah.
Yeah, I was really worried at the beginning. We were down 17.
Yeah, 17-3. Listen to you. You're saying we were down 17-3. Like you were your Utah's your team.
They were acting on TV like there might be some people in Columbus watching this game. I guarantee there's more people in Columbus watching than in Salt Lake.
Oh, Columbus, the entire Buckeye team.
Yeah.
Everybody. We were all watching it. It was a good game. I mean, we all knew that was going to be a good game, but yeah, it's crazy. You got an early Christmas present, Buckeye Christmas present. Apparently, Santa wears scarlet and gray this year anyway.
I'm just debating on whether I'm going to root for TCU or not now, because I kind of would like you guys to have to play Bama, because I think that would be funny.
Bama's not getting in. It would be TCU.
If TCU gets beat down tomorrow, which they could, because they were getting beat down the first time those two teams played until their two quarterbacks got hurt.
There is, let's talk about this comment from Andrew real quick. There is a distinct possibility of Ohio State and Michigan playing twice.
Mm-hmm.
You guys would have to take out Georgia. We would have to take out TCU. That's possible.
That would be the biggest game in Ohio State Michigan history.
Yeah, it would be like Georgia Bama last year.
Yeah, it would be incredible.
I wonder what the ratings would be.
I mean, so we had for the first game, there were 17 million people watching. So that was bigger than any other sporting event ever. I mean, it was just incredible.
The last one. Yeah.
So,
that was a good show we put on there.
And that was just a regular game. That wasn't even a Big Ten championship game. It was just a game. Regular season game.
That's so painful.
Can you imagine the national title?
It's so mentally painful that you guys only had to go through the pain and anguish for a week. Seriously. Yeah. And now you're rejuvenated.
I agree. It's completely unfair.
Yeah, I could tell you're broken up about
it. But I'm at the same time still pretty happy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, Tracy says OSU plus 5.5 versus Georgia. Is that already out? I haven't even looked.
That seems kind of
so. That's a pretty good line. Unless that's probably a good guess if it's a guess. What do you think?
I think the line. I thought I already heard what the line would be. I mean, the problem is you can't even come close to guessing a line now, because it's going to all hinge on which OSU players are healthy by then. Is our starting right guard going to play, and is JSN going to play, and it's Mayan Williams. And Mayan Williams seems like, in my mind, he didn't have like a serious injury. It was just something that was building up over a couple of weeks. So you get a month off, he's going to be 100%. So to me, it's just JSN and our right guard. Those two guys play, and we're going to be, I would say toss up with Georgia.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Derby, you're right. I don't think.
So Derby, who won the Heisman then?
Yeah, I don't know who the heck's going to do it.
Who's winning the Heisman? Are people going to default back to CJ Stroud, or is it going to go to Max Duggan?
No, CJ had a bad game.
He did.
Max Duggan.
I mean, no, he did. I mean, well,
I have no clue.
I don't think he had a good game, but I mean, he still had statistically a good game.
Oh my goodness, this is such a good one, Chris. He says, but hey, Utah really only won on 5 plays.
Well, actually, you know why Utah won?
It's only 5 plays. You could take away 5 plays from any game, right?
So if you look at the, I forget what the statistic was that they were calling it against the Ohio State Michigan game. The what did they call it? It was like some sort of rating of plays that are successful plays, and we had a higher rating than Michigan did overall in the game. It's just you guys won on the explosive plays, obviously. But in the USC game, they had at the beginning of the fourth quarter 22 missed tackles, and as Zach Smith always says, usually any team that's going to win is usually going to be in single-digit missed tackles. So USC was 22 missed tackles in 3 quarters is fucking insane.
Yeah.
That's just off the charts bad. I mean, some of those tackles I saw, like Joel Klatt was tweeting, that may have been the worst tackle attempt I've ever seen in my life. On that one tight end that just came up, the corner tried to tackle him and just hugged him and just let him push him in 10 more yards. And it's just disgusting. Some of the, I've never seen such bad tackling.
Yeah, just incredible. Bucks are in. Gene, I'm with you.
I
don't know if Gene's saying this in a happy way or the way I'm saying it, with my eyes rolling. And
you're a Michigan fan. You know what? It's good for the ratings for us. That's all I have to think. I mean,
a
lot of stuff to talk about now.
Yeah, easy win for Georgia. Buckeyes are soft. That might be true. I mean, they may not want to play a team that's maybe a little bit better, more polished than Michigan, better version of Michigan.
Georgia hard because they barely beat Kent State. They were struggling with Kent State late into the second half.
Yeah,
they were struggling. They beat Missouri by 4 points. They beat mighty Kentucky 16-6 or something. I mean,
that I don't know about that.
in like
That's the Kevin Bacon game with football. That doesn't really count.
I don't know. They've looked average in a lot of games this year. Yeah, USC definitely gave up. They definitely gave up.
It's Andrew. It's like I've watched every stream since last Saturday, and I've not seen you this happy. You're right, Matt. I'm assuming you're talking about Matt. Like he's not been this happy at all. He's definitely not. I mean, and look at him. He's beaming. It's like he's just been. It's just like he's on his honeymoon. Look at him. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, that's so true. Lincoln Riley brought that Oklahoma defense with him. Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley, he's going to need to get some NIL money on defense stat.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not. I don't think the Pac-12 was really playing much defense to begin with, but yeah, it's totally true. It's a toss-up, really. CJ deserves after that Williams performance, but I'd rather have seen the Hooker kid win it from Tennessee. He didn't get hurt, but now I'd say CJ or Bryce. Yeah.
I agree on Hooker. I think if Hooker was healthy, he would have won it, and he did deserve
Probably
it.
Would.
He was playing the best of anyone this year. I still think, I mean, you could still semi-understand giving it to him just because you get hurt and miss a couple games. I mean, you lose the Heisman just because you miss a couple games at the end of the season. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, he did have an unbelievable year.
Yeah. Well, look at what Gene says. If Bucks beat Georgia and Michigan, CJ for Heisman, we'd have to change the ceremony till after the national championship.
It's just like when Vince Young won the national championship. They
against USC
beforehand, and instead they gave it to USC instead of waiting, because if it was after the national title game, Vince would have won it in a landslide.
Yes. Senile Joe. Ohio State slithered into the top 4, slithered on their bellies.
Yes, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
You couldn't have enjoyed it even more if you'd have deserved it.
I don't know whether I feel better about the fact that we got in or the fact that Michigan fans are super pissed that we got in.
Honestly, I was pissed just with the prospect of it. It hadn't even happened yet, and I was already pissed, even yesterday. Yeah, it's OSU fans better root for Michigan. That's probably true. Yeah, Michigan. Michigan might hurt their strength of schedule, I guess.
I don't know. They
slow as molasses.
No,
he's not slow. He's just unwilling.
Yes, he is unwilling. He's a wussy when it comes to running.
He's dainty.
He's very dainty, and it pisses me off. He needs to run the ball.
If he would just dash out of bounds every once in a while.
I commented during the game, if that hit that CJ Rising took today, if CJ Stroud would have taken that hit, he would have been crying.
Oh, yeah. He would have had to take a year off.
Smiling. That guy is a fucking stud. That Rising kid is just unbelievable. I was really impressed with him.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I love this. Still like making fun of the whole taking out 5 plays. I wish we could do that for every game like that Michigan played in the last 20 years. Like we'll just take out 5 plays from Ohio State. Totally different game. I like that.
The other thing is, so one of the stats that they actually do look at in
JJ.
The committee.
We have to play Georgia now.
The committee.
At least your season's not over, though. You have some hope. You can think about the positive things for a month.
So the committee does look at game control, and so we controlled the first half, even though we should have been winning bigger. And we were in it in the third quarter, even though we didn't have the best third quarter. And then you guys got the game control for the fourth quarter. So for the majority of the game, we actually controlled it, but then you guys ran away with it, obviously when it counted. But that's a little bit different.
I think I was thinking about that the other day. I don't know how to think of that because, I mean, Michigan made huge plays in the game, like just huge plays for touchdowns, not just huge plays. Like they made sure they didn't even have to get stopped in the red zone. They had 5 huge plays for touchdowns where the red zone wasn't even a factor.
Well, what
Michigan did was let Ohio State do what they wanted in between the 20s. And then it's like, hey, If you can get in, you can make a touchdown in the red zone, go for it. Ohio State had one red zone touchdown.
Yeah.
And the other touchdown was that beautiful pass to Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I mean, more than anything, we lost because we lost that game because we weren't able to convert third downs in the red zone. I mean, you have to be able to do that or you're not going to win.
Suckeyes may get shamed again versus Georgia. You know what? That's going to be a fun game.
Like Michigan, who got shamed against Georgia last year.
That was last year. That was so last year. We're better now. We are better, and I would think that Michigan would have a better game plan this time. Michigan wouldn't just be happy to be there, kind of like Ohio State is right now, just kind of like prancing around like butterflies, just happy to be there. We're coming in focused and pissed off.
Without your best
player. At least that's what I'm hoping.
Without your best player.
SEC fans to the Pac-12. My goodness. Bama fans begging to be in and can't even beat Tennessee or LSU.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bama's out. Williams still won the Heisman. The votes were submitted last game. Yeah.
Well, not all of them. Right. Some of them are.
He's going to limp up to the podium and accept it.
I mean, a lot of people still. I think the majority still vote after the championship games, but unfortunately, a lot of people do vote early, which is annoying. I don't think they should be allowed to vote early.
They should not be allowed to vote early. Totally agree.
Dumb. You know, it's arguable whether you should have it at the end of the regular season or at the end of the championship game. Like, why not just wait till everything's over?
Yeah. Big Ten is a joke. We're going to find out, aren't we? Because we're going to have our two best teams in the playoffs.
3 top 10 teams. That's not bad. I mean, the bottom of the Big Ten is really bad this year, but the top is pretty solid.
Yes.
Yes. Last year, Georgia
Michigan
was one of the best.
Was destroyed.
Maybe one of the best defenses ever in college football. Definitely.
Yeah, Michigan was bad even on defense in that game.
Yeah.
They were bad all around.
So, Georgia is nothing like they were last year. They're still really good, but they're not last year's Georgia.
Yeah. Ohio State needs Michigan to be undefeated. Big Ten isn't getting 2 teams in it. Michigan loses. Yeah, OS will be. I mean, maybe. I don't know how that works exactly. That's painful for me to think about. I think Michigan may still get in.
No, Michigan's in.
They would just flip them around.
You guys could forfeit the game and you would still get in. I think we're in.
For the yeah, I think so too now, just for the lack of not being able to put anyone else in. Because I don't think Bama's getting in.
Yeah, why? Yeah, it's not going to be a big enough change. I think no matter what, I think the only way Bama gets in is if TCU loses by like 3 scores.
Yeah, don't forget what Ohio State did to Alabama in 2014. Same thing applies to Georgia. You know, it's not actually inconceivable to think that the Buckeyes could fix the problems that Michigan exposed and have a month to plan for that and come in and be dangerous. And it's funny because I always thought it was going to be a crime to not be able to see that Ohio State offense in the playoffs. I didn't want to see them in there necessarily because it would mean that Michigan lost. But now we actually get to see the Buckeyes and that offense and Ryan Day in the playoffs playing Georgia. I mean, that was the dream game, really, at the beginning of the season, that you'd think you'd be playing in the national title. Buckeyes were probably they were number 2, right? Number 2 in the country. I think preseason.
What were your top 4 at the beginning of the season? Do you remember?
Oh gosh, I can't even remember the top 4. Like, what did I predict the top 4?
My prediction was Oklahoma State, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. So
I can't. I'm going to have to go back and look. It's been so long, and so many things have happened. I don't think I picked Michigan to be in the top 4. I thought they were going to have. I thought they were going to lose to Ohio State this year. You know, they're going to go play at Buckeye Stadium and not be able to play or not be able to win. So I didn't have them in there. I had Buckeyes, typical Buckeyes, Alabama, Georgia, and someone else. Who knows?
Yeah.
Should Bennett win since he's leading UGA undefeated? Yeah, he's probably kind of like an unsung hero. He's not. I mean,
he was getting more hype earlier
versus Tennessee
because the first half of the year he was putting up big stats, also surprisingly. But his offensive stats have really fallen off the second half of the season. So I think if you're going to give it to another quarterback besides Caleb and besides Stroud, it would have to go to Max Duggan.
Yeah, very true. USC was playing flag football tonight. Yeah, they were. That's so true.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah, tackling coordinator.
It reminded me, their defense reminded me of our defense against Michigan, except for 5 times worse. Like, it's like, we had, a few missed tackles that just happened to be, kill us, but theirs was like every single play was a missed tackle. It was just disgusting.
USC is bad.
Yeah.
USC's real bad on defense. They weren't terrible in the red zone, but maybe they were even terrible in the red zone. I might be. I think they stopped them at least once.
Yeah. Early on in the first quarter, they were pretty good. That was about it.
Yeah, and that's true. Like, there is a SEC bias. I mean, for a reason, because they keep winning so much in the playoffs and in the national title. But there is a bias, and probably for, there's a reason for that. But we need to stop that this year. Michigan or Ohio State needs to win that thing, preferably Michigan. Max Duggan will win the Heisman. Ugh. I like Max Duggan. I just don't want Diego to be right.
I know. I think he might deserve the Heisman, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be too little, too late, unless he has a monster game tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope he does, because I don't know who else is gonna win it. It might as well be Max Duggan.
Yeah. I just don't think that happen.
I agree, JJ. Bama's out.
I don't think it's a lock that they're out. I think if TCU gets blown out like USC did today, then I think that they're in.
And what's scary is that
3 touchdowns.
The committee put Bama in position to go in, like if at all possible, because that's their dream to have Bama in there too.
So what do you think the cutoff is? What do you think the cutoff is? How many points does TCU have to lose by for Bama to sneak in?
2 touchdowns. No, for Bama?
Yeah.
It would have to be 4 or 5 touchdowns. It would have to be so bad.
You don't think exactly what we saw tonight, like 23 points?
And Max Duggan gets hurt.
Yeah.
Because the Hendon Hooker rule that can go into effect, but only for Alabama. Penn State doesn't jump Tennessee, but Alabama does jump Tennessee because of the Hendon Hooker injured rule. Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah. Buckeyes haven't been an underdog in a long time.
Yeah.
To be quite honest. When was the last time they were an underdog? It's been years.
Let's see. Last year.
Not last year.
I'm trying to think. It wasn't last year. So I guess it gets Bama in the national title game.
That's, insane. Georgia will destroy USU anyway. Michigan, the only team that can beat Georgia. I think there's some truth to that.
I don't think Michigan matches up really well with Georgia. I mean, Georgia has like that really good run defense up the middle. Like, do you think that Michigan can run on them?
I don't know. We couldn't really run on Ohio State in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
First 2.5 quarters, and we just threw the ball over the top. But Georgia probably isn't going to play the same dumb defense that Ohio State is.
It's not just the defense. Like, they actually have legitimate corners.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you guys are going to be able to do that.
Yeah. Oh, Antoine says that was terrible. Even as a Michigan fan, I'd rather see Ohio State than USC play Georgia.
Yeah, because Georgia getting USC in the first round would have just been a bye. No one wants to see that. We've seen what happens when Lincoln Riley makes the playoffs. It's never a good thing.
But we thought that Caleb Williams could be an equalizer in some way.
Yeah.
I don't think USC loses that game if Caleb Williams is healthy. So that 17-3 was not an accident.
Yeah, when did he get hurt? I didn't even see him get hurt.
No, I didn't either. I think he was running. It was one of his big runs that he got hurt, and he was limping. Is what happened.
It wasn't. I don't think it was that bad because he still got a 40-yard run even after he was hurt.
Or maybe that was it. I remember one of the announcers was scolding him for not running out of bounds and taking the hit.
I would kill.
Ohio will upset Georgia, and it'll be Michigan-Ohio State championship. It's not that I would hate that. I would hate that from the sense that, again, we deserve, as Michigan fans, to enjoy this Ohio State win for more than a week. for more than a month, and if it's just giving Ohio State
I
fans, a
agree.
lot
If
of hope.
the situations were reversed, I would be annoyed as well.
I know, which is why you're smiling so much.
Yeah, I would be annoyed.
It would be. It would be.
Except for I would be excited for the chance to beat you twice, though, honestly. And
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of gloating you'll be able to do if you can win twice in 1 year would be unbearable.
Yeah. Yep. I know. Michigan has a better chance than OSU, slithering through the back door. So true. They're playoff crashers. That's what they are.
I'll tell you
Coming
what,
in, drinking the free punch
I think right
at
now,
the wedding.
I think our team has better players than Michigan. I think Michigan has better coaching right now than Ohio State.
Well,
I think that's
yeah.
I think
I don't think Georgia's interested in playing Ohio State. Georgia's unhappy right now.
I was very impressed by your defensive coordinator, Minter, made some unbelievable adjustments, and just the second half completely shut us down.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think that Ohio State, I think Georgia's upset right now. Georgia would have rather played USC in that roster.
They know it's a bye. Just like when I was pissed.
It's a bye.
It's close to a bye.
I don't think so.
Compared to what I don't know. I just don't think USC. I mean, they just got smoked by Utah. That's a bye.
Thank you, Florida. We need to temper Matt's enthusiasm here. He's way too happy right now. You got destroyed by Michigan.
We didn't get destroyed by Michigan. It was a game with 7 minutes to go. That's not destroyed.
Yeah, very true. Michigan is Georgia, but not same talent. That's true. I mean, Georgia definitely has, at least on paper, more talent, even this year. Definitely last year.
Michigan has a better offensive line than Georgia does. Michigan has
maybe.
A better and Michigan
we thought that last year, too.
And a better running game than Georgia has. Now, the difference is Georgia has a much better defensive line than anyone in the country.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Blake Edwards is still playing really at a high level.
Oh, yeah, but a good chance. Edwards is a stud.
We just, I don't know what his hand's going to look like, though. Is that going to be healed? Hopefully he can catch the ball.
I don't think it mattered too much against us. He still had.
I thought for sure he was going to fumble at least once, with one hand.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah, that guy is amazing.
Good luck, Ohio State.
Thank you.
Oh, Georgia fan. Seemingly Georgia fan. That's a Georgia fan who's not very worried. All the Georgia fans are like, yeah, we'd rather play USC, but okay, Ohio State, bring your soft little team.
This is funny because this was the
bring your well lotioned hands and come on over to Georgia and we'll play you guys.
This was the matchup that everyone wanted last year because everyone's like, oh, the Ohio State offense is amazing and the Georgia defense is amazing. We want this matchup, and we didn't get it last year, but it looks like we're going to get it this year. And luckily for us, that it's not the Georgia defense from last year.
Yeah, you know what? Ohio State has a really a rejuvenated chance now to really go back, reinvent themselves, and really just take this season and make it a completely different season. They just got some light
in the secondary. Secondary depth is one of our biggest concerns. We had so many corners out this year that we just were rotating. Cam Martinez should have never been playing in that game. He's one of the guys that gave up a touchdown. Hopefully
one of the safeties.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some people healthy, and our secondary isn't a train wreck.
Yeah. If Michigan and Ohio State play for all the marbles again and Michigan wins, hope they don't, but that would be a triple. Yes, that would. I mean, that would be to beat Ohio State twice in one season and win the national title. Yeah.
Let's not think about that.
We would turn that grin upside down.
But for now.
Can you read that one?
Utah just came in as underdogs and won. Look back at 2014 playoff, the first year just saying. Yeah, I mean, it's looking like we might be able to pull this thing out. It just looks like last year, Bama destroying Georgia, and then Georgia snuck into the playoffs, and then I didn't think they deserved it after losing that game, and then they win it all. So yeah,
so true. Yep. It's embarrassing to listen to this guy. You couldn't score in the second half at all. You got played on your home field. Yes. Yes, that's so true. I know. It's painful to listen to Matt and look at Matt right now because he's so happy. I don't like seeing Buckeye fans this happy, not this time of year. It needs to be pain and anguish.
You know what? I don't understand why we didn't run the ball at all. We had such a good running attack in the first half, and we just stopped running for some reason.
Yeah. I think a lot of things tightened up in that second half. So true.
Like, 5 fluky plays. It's not going to happen again.
Yeah, fluky. 5 of them.
Story, and I'm sticking to it.
It's not a fluke when it's 5 plays in one game. I mean, it's a fluke if it's 1. It's crazy fluke if it's 2. But if it's 5, that means that's a pattern.
Yeah, maybe. They definitely didn't tackle it.
How do we break the news to Matt that we absolutely smacked, those 5 plays that Matt said we won? And that Georgia is better than us. Yes, even after this, please send Matt some comments. After this live stream is done, please get it into the comments so that it's in the books officially.
Look, I agree in all seriousness. Our secondary is kind of a disaster. We missed out on some recruiting when Kerry Combs, before he came back, when he left to go to the NFL for a couple of years, we lost out on Clark Phillips III, who, as you saw today, was a beast for Utah. He was down to us, and we lost him, because of changes. I think also when we lost our defensive coordinator to BC, we lost some stud defensive recruits as well. So losing Kerry Combs and losing our defensive coordinator that year after the playoffs, that was a big problem. So we have a gaping hole in our secondary in recruiting.
Yeah, I remember you lamenting losing Clark Phillips.
Yeah,
because
he
went to Utah.
He's amazing.
Mm-hmm. He was good. Very true. We're going up against the SEC, the one giant. Hopefully, Bama doesn't make it in there. The evil council.
Don't forget TCU.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I would love for Blake to win the Heisman now, because it's such a toss-up, and he was up there high.
Yeah.
He totally deserves it, but I don't think they'll give it to him.
You know what cost him this year was the fact that you guys ran him too much. You guys were winning games, and it's one thing to leave a quarterback in because quarterbacks aren't getting hit every play, but he had way too many carries. You have 2 good running backs. He shouldn't have been getting so many carries against the bad teams. You needed to save him. And
maybe
that's what happened. I mean, obviously,
it was just bad luck.
Any play, but you just know you're giving him like 25, 30 carries in so many of the games this year. It's bound to wear down.
Yeah, you can second guess that for sure. Yeah, Ohio State will be stretching Georgia vertically down the field. Yeah, they will. And I think if they choose to. I mean, they didn't try to do that to Michigan. Michigan played 2 high safeties and let Ohio State just do whatever they wanted underneath. Yeah. And got them into the red zone. It's like Michigan was luring Ohio State into the red zone, hoping they'd stop them along the way. But, okay, Ohio State, prove you can score in the red zone. And Georgia may or may not do that. And Ohio State has to actually take some shots against Georgia. They didn't take shots against Michigan. They took 1 deep ball that I can remember, and it was completed to Marvin Harrison Jr. for a touchdown. And that was when one of our safeties blitzed from deep. And then it left them 1-on-1. But
so
Ohio State's got to actually do that.
When I was talking with Nate on text earlier today, so we had 15 plays in the red zone against Michigan. 0 of those were attempts to Marvin Harrison. So
he had a lot of catches. I mean, he had a lot of yards.
Not once.
Had like 300 yards.
In the red zone did we have a play for Marvin Harrison, which is insane. Yeah, Michigan's in 100%. The only issue would be if Michigan loses, that potentially could affect Ohio State getting in. Maybe. I think it's still super unlikely.
Yeah, very true.
It hurts us a little bit, so it's outside chance that Bama would jump us because of a Michigan loss. Like if Michigan actually lost by 3 touchdowns to Purdue, I mean, that would look horrible for everybody involved. So who knows what would happen at that point.
Right, true. And reiterating, I agree with Antoine. It says Michigan can lose.
Yeah, no one thinks that Michigan will be in. It's the issue of will that affect Ohio State at all.
But Alabama's out. I think Alabama's out unless, the evil committee really is the slithering evil committee that I think and puts them in. that would be a crime against humanity, though, if they did that.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan's in no matter what. It's just a matter of whether we get in or Bama.
Yeah, very true. The Buckeyes had a long time to fix their problems, and then they just decided not to do it.
You do get a lot better during the bowl practice. That's a lot of extra reps.
Yeah, I do, but you would have thought that they, it's funny because Ohio State did fix, like they didn't get beat by the Michigan just pushing the ball down the field, like matriculating the ball down the field is what they say. But yeah, they just got beat on those big, huge plays. It was different game than last year. The Buckeyes got to get it all cleaned up.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Buckeyes did fix a lot of the problems. If you look at our defense from last year to this year, it's night and day. I mean, we obviously still didn't get it done against Michigan, but our defense was way better this year than it was last year.
Yeah, very true.
We just don't have the talent in the secondary right now.
Yeah. Oh, wait, let me go back to that. Over to Top Gun. If Ohio State gets another opportunity to play, they'll win it all. They might.
I hope so.
I mean, there's a chance now. Sadly, there's a chance.
Yeah, I mean, get a bunch of people back from injury.
Michigan gets upset by Purdue. Bama would get in somehow. It's not this committee. I don't doubt anything.
Am I going to have to actually root for Michigan tomorrow? I never root for Michigan.
I don't want your rooting.
It's going to be painful.
Save it. Congrats, Utah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. I did want Utah to win in my heart. I really did. Then I'd have to turn and think, no, I don't want them to win because it's going to let the Buckeyes get in. It was terrible.
There'll be a lot of mixed feelings for you right
Moody now. For Heisman, Michigan's place kicker. Yes. Ohio stole Oklahoma defensive coordinator and still lost. Yeah. Yeah, you brought in and paid someone $2 million for 1 year to beat Michigan.
Coordinator. We would never take anyone from Oklahoma. Let's get that corrected because Oklahoma is a complete disgrace to defense. But yeah, I still think he's it's still his first year. He had much better defense than we had last year. Didn't get it done, obviously, but it's still much better.
Very true. Very true.
Heisman is a multiple coin toss at this point. It could be like, anyone really. I mean,
yeah, totally.
Maybe Corum, maybe Duggan, maybe Caleb still, maybe Stroud, depending on when people voted.
Yeah. Very true. Ohio stacked the box and sold out. Yeah, they did. I mean, Ohio State didn't think Michigan could hurt them through the air, is what happened, and that's most people didn't.
Yeah, I would have probably done the same thing. I mean, JJ and the receivers hadn't proven all year that they could do that. So it seems like that would be the smart game plan going in.
Yeah, that's true. Like everyone was in the box.
Yeah.
Half the team was in the box. Oh, goodness. Yeah. JJ, if Ryan beats Georgia somehow, then loses to Michigan in the Natty, is he the new John Cooper? Yes. That would be a very John Cooper thing to do.
Yes. I don't even think about that.
Yep. Go Georgia. I'm rooting for the Dogs in the playoffs. A Georgia fan. Remember, folks, Stetson Bennett can pass and run. That's true.
Yeah.
Buckeye fans are jealous. Pass and run.
Well, see, that's the thing. We have a quarterback that can pass and run. He just doesn't choose to run. He can't run.
Well, yeah, exactly. He can run. He just chooses not to.
Remember his freshman year, he had a nice 40-yard run. One of his first games he played.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, Randall. Yeah, first 3.5 quarters. I think OSU and UM both can play UG pretty good, especially as underdogs. OSU can't play worried about the run. They can do it. Hey, that's good. That's positive. That's probably making you feel better. And I think the Buckeyes have they have the roster to do it. I just don't. I mean, they just didn't do the game plan was the problem.
Yeah, they never tried to just play it straight up without loading the box, just to see if they could see how they are against the run with a normal
Yeah.
normal defense, and just see how it goes. They didn't even try.
Mhm. Yes, Gene Lee. Yes, you and Matt feel almost exactly the same way right now, jubilated, and I don't blame you.
Who
It
doesn't
feels
like
big.
who doesn't like going through the back door? Come on.
Nice. Jeez. Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be a tough one for Ohio State. It really is. I mean, I know you're jubilated right now.
I do love the underdog rule too. That's nice. Georgia's going to be overconfident. They're going to be hearing all month about how much better they are than Ohio State.
Ugh. And you know what would be even worse about that is that if the Buckeyes did find a way to beat Georgia, you would be saying, "Oh, we beat Georgia when Michigan couldn't,"
Yeah,
even though last year no one was beating Georgia.
no
And
one.
you already know that you would say that.
Although I think Bama was the best team last year, it's just they lost Jamison Williams in the title game, and that
That
was
hurt. I agree. That hurt.
their whole offense. Him and Bryce, that was it.
I'm sure. Yeah, and yeah, that's true. We should be pumped about that, even though I'm dejected about not my own personal uh, desires to actually make everyone feel bad in Ohio. Um, I don't really. I should feel good. I do feel good about two Big Ten teams. I mean that's actually a really great thing that this
Yeah,
is happening.
definitely good for the conference. Plus, we'll be getting USC and UCLA added to the conference soon.
Yeah,
So,
it really could have. We could have had three Big Ten teams in if it
yeah.
had been TCU that lost and Caleb didn't get injured. Yeah, very true. All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
It's getting late. Let's talk about what are your predictions for tomorrow? Knowing what we've got, what do you think is going to happen in that TCU
You guys, I
game?
think, are like 17
Assuming
points.
Michigan and Georgia's going to win their games, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, you guys are 17-point favorites, I believe, over Purdue. The one thing I was telling Diego earlier about, I was a little bit worried about. So I think Purdue's quarterback, his brother just died. So it's going to be one of those situations where, sometimes when people are playing with a lot of extra emotion like that, it could be tough for you guys, and he might just ball out and have the game of his life. Like, remember when Ohio State lost to Purdue and everyone was playing for the kid who was dying, and his last wish before he died was to beat Ohio State or something?
That's when Purdue beat you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that all this extra motivation from everyone supporting the Purdue quarterback because his brother just died, and I mean, not quite the same situation, but still very motivated Purdue team.
Yeah, I think that that might be a little overstated this time because they keep talking about it and they keep pointing out that Purdue is like I think they beat like 3 top 5 teams.
Yeah.
And they're calling them spoiler makers. I think they're jinxing Purdue big time by doing that. Personally, what are your thoughts?
I mean, God, you guys are just so much better than them. I don't see how you guys are going to lose that game. I just,
I agree.
I hope you win and it's really ugly.
And I'm still hope if that happens, TCU wins. I know, but I know you think Michigan's going to win. TCU, you thinks
my original pick the other day was that USC was going to win, but then TCU was going to lose. I think TCU, like I said before, like they're I'm sorry, Kansas State's backup quarterback. Their first 2 quarterbacks got hurt, and they were winning big against TCU the last time. I think they're going to pull it out this time now.
Maybe. Hey, we'll have to see. I think TCU is going to pull it out this time. I think they're going to win the game.
Yeah,
it would be interesting to see what would happen if they did lose.
So that's the other scenario with Alabama getting in. So for Alabama to get in also, so Georgia and Bama haven't played this year, but Bama lost to LSU. So if LSU could somehow pull out a win against Georgia and Purdue beats Michigan, that's the best scenario for Bama getting in over us.
Yeah. I don't think Bama would. I don't think they're getting in either way. But I don't even want to tempt the committee with the option of getting Alabama in. I think that we've got the 4 we're going to see. Ohio State is going to play Georgia. Michigan will play TCU. And I guess we'll just have to hope that it's an all Big Ten national title.
I think you're hoping you play. I think you're scared you're going to get Bama in round one.
Don't want to play Bama, honestly. I mean, they would just sneak right in. I don't think we're going to.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to get TCU. And if TCU somehow loses tomorrow, that would just screw everything up. It just really would. I mean, Michigan and Ohio State could conceivably be 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I know they don't want to do that.
I think at that point, I think they would switch it and make they would just switch Georgia and Michigan, so that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, it may be. Well, we'd have to see. Yeah, they probably would. They don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
And we'll end with get in, losers. We're going to the playoffs. That's fantastic. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Please like and subscribe the video. Greatly appreciate it. We're going to be posting a lot more after this because Ohio State is now in. They got in the back door thanks to USC. But my gosh, man, congratulations, Matt. Your team's going in. You've only had a week of pain.
Funny, our best win of the year wasn't even us playing.
Yeah, exactly. Take care, everyone. Have a good night. Go Blue.
Go Bucks.